So it's kind of embarrassing to actually say this now. For 2 fucking years, I've been avoiding growing. Uh, like, I guess when I first came here, like, when I first, got out, I guess you could say, I was living with my friends and, I was just trying to, have fun with them and, was so happy with them that I completely was trying to forget about what happened with my mom because I was just it fear turned into resentment and I ended up resenting her, and that only lasted a couple months, but it still was there, so I was just trying to forget, and then from my friend's house I moved in with my foster grandparents, my mom's foster parents, and they're very religious and we're very humble and we're always having me work and stuff, and so uh, I kind of forgot about was trying to forget about my mom there too, and trying to be religious, but it just wasn't working out very well. um but I would still love them because they're my foster grandparents and they're really nice people. They're just very religious and I'm not very religious, so it didn't work out the best. And then after that, I was went to Wisconsin to visit my dad for 3 or 4 weeks. I remember, and I was just so excited about everything doing happening with my dad that I just was always exhausted when I went to bed. That I completely just didn't even have any thought about my mom because it was always in the back of my bed, but it was just never a thought because I was just always focusing on having fun with my dad. And then when I came back, I was just excited with my grandma and all of that happened, and then school started and I was just starting out school and getting all of that happening, and also any time I had spare moment or spare time I was always spending time with my dad or spending time with friends or always on my phone watching YouTube or doing something. And I feel I would think about it but I wouldn't really deeply think about it, and I would just kind of avoid it until a couple I think it was earlier this month or at the end of last month, I actually ended up thinking about what happened to me with my half brother, and then from then on, I started thinking about what happened to me with my mom, and I just was I've started thinking more about my past instead of avoiding it I've done for the past 2 years, and I think in doing so, I opened up a lot of doors that I slammed shut and bolt locked a long time ago. And so they're slowly cracking open, and the effects of that is that my past emotions and personality has come to resurface on me, which like is terrifying because it just reminds me of everything that happened even more. It's going from watching a movie of your past to actually being in that movie, and it's terrifying. I don't want to go back into that movie. um it's how you're completely okay with watching a horror movie, but if you were in that same position you would be like incredibly terrified, but you're fine watching it as a movie, but you're not fine being in the movie, that's how I feel right now, because before, when I was just vaguely thinking about it or pushing it to the back of my brain, it was kind of oh, this is kind of a movie that I don't really want to see yet. And then when I finally accepted and started thinking about it, I was kind of watching the movie, and then I don't know, some click happened last night, and or maybe it was just yesterday or something, and now I'm in the movie and experiencing a lot of what I felt when I was during that time, and it's terrifying because I don't want to go back to that, and I've tried my hardest these 2 years to avoid that and try and become a better person and try and be the opposite of how I was before, which I guess is not terrible because it means I'm growing, but at the same time it's not good to avoid something that was such a big part of me because it influenced me so much and has literally made me the person I am today. Like, if that didn't happen, I have no idea who I would be. Like, I have no clue. Like, that's just how much of an impact that hell like experience that happened with my mom was for me. And it was like terrifying and terrible, but like at the same time, like it was like what has like made me who I am today. And so like I don't really regret it. I just don't want to go back to it is the main thing that I'm like afraid of. And I feel myself like going back into that mindset, which I'm terrified of. But at the same time, I think it means like I'm growing, because before I wouldn't even like accept that that even happened. I know I would avoid it constantly. And now, like, I'm not avoiding it and I'm trying to accept it. And trying to do something is the first step. And experiencing it is, maybe that's how I'm gonna like learn to accept it and grow, because these past 2 years I've just been like finding every excuse imaginable to avoid it. And I think my dad was a big part of that. I was very dependent on my dad, like especially when I went to Wisconsin and like we rekindled our little relationship, and I grew incredibly close to him, grew incredibly dependent on him. And like now that he's not here to distract me and like help me, like I've been like thinking a lot about like what's going on and like why I am this way and like what happened. And it's just been incredibly scary, but at the same time it's good, because it means that I'm growing and I'm gonna get stronger from this. So I guess I'll just have to like write it out and experience it, instead of being afraid and trying to like shut it out again, because shutting it out, you can't shut it out forever. It's just gonna grow bigger and bust open the fucking door. So like I can't shut it out forever. I might as well experience it now, instead of like years later when it's like not even really relevant to my life anymore. And like maybe when doing this I'll like grow closer to my mom instead of like accepting her but like still keeping her at a distance. Maybe I can fully accept her now, that like once I go through this. Because as much as I say that I like forgive my mom and accept my mom, I still hold a tiny bit of that resentment that I had for a couple months when I first left her. And like as small as it is, it still has an impact. So I just wanna help myself more than anything, and like try to be better, because there's always room for improvement. But it's scary when you're experiencing shit like this. But yeah, I just wanted to like give you the like heads up. Like I know what I'm happening now. Like I know what's happening. I'm not as terrified as I was before. I'm still extremely terrified, but I'm not as clueless as I once was. So that's taken away some of the fear, but it's still there because I know I'm gonna fucking experience every fucking bad thing that happened to me, and it's just gonna be like living a fucking nightmare. But it's just gonna happen, and then I'm gonna grow from it, and then we're gonna like live my life from there. And I will continue to experience like moments from my past from now. I know that, and I know that in the future, like I will be less afraid of those moments. I don't know, but less afraid of remembering, which is a good thing. So yeah. I also should like stop procrastinating on my fucking homework. Like goddamn, honey, like okay. But yeah, and like I feel slightly lighter, but I still feel heavy because like this shit is gonna go down, and I can feel it bubbling beneath the surface. It's already surfaced a bit. It's just waiting to resurface the rest of it, and I'm just kind of like, well, here we fucking go. I'm gonna boil alive. It's fine. I'm fine. And like, oh gosh. But hey, I'm gonna become a better person after this. So yeah, I'm continue growing. I'm gonna continue experiencing like what is going on right now for the rest of my life. So might as well accept it instead of shutting it out. Who knows? It might be a hopeful little beast instead of like a terrifying one that I always keep on thinking of locking up. So whatever. My hair is just losing it. Although I literally did nothing. Like I fell asleep in my clothes. I mean, I took my jeans off, but like I fell asleep in my clothes. Like I didn't wash my hair. Like honey needs help. I need help. Like honestly, like get your shit together. It's never together. Ever. Like ever. Oh my god. For someone who's such an overthinker, like I never have my shit together. Ever. And holy shit, I feel a headache coming on. Great. That's awesome. I think this one's just from like waking up hella early in the morning, which is great. Because I wanted to listen to music. I'll just take like whatever that thing is called, extra strong Tylenol, whatever. Hi, Bobo. Good morning. Sorry, talking to a turtle. Yes, I know how like insignificant and crazy that is because you're talking to it's an animate object, but it doesn't speak English. Also, it's a turtle, so like they're less connected to you than an actual dog. So like it's a little weirder talking to a turtle. But I don't fucking care because he's my turtle and I love my turtle. And my grandma talks to my turtle all the fucking time. So like, whatever. But yeah, I finally understand that like this is like a growth process, whatever. Like I just need to like push through it and get it over with. Like fuck. Anyways, it is 6:39. It's literally like 6 minutes from when I usually get up in the morning, so that's like fucking awesome because like I didn't do any of my homework yet, and I'm like, no, my grade is gonna take a hit. All of them, all of my grades, because I'm like highly sure that I'm going to fail on environmental science. On the math one, I'm pretty sure I'll pass, but I didn't do any of the homework in math. I like literally did 2 pages of homework in math like this whole fucking week. And then environmental science, I didn't study at all for the test. And then English is easy because English is just English. And then Spanish is easy because Spanish is just Spanish. So I'm pretty sure I'll do okay on those 2 tests. But on environmental science and math and math, I'm sure I won't do that well because in math I barely did any of my homework at all. Even though I'm pretty sure I'll like pass the test because the math is just so fucking easy. That's why I didn't want to do the homework because it's just so tedious and boring. And I'm just like, fuck this. Like it's literally just writing down graphs that are literally almost the same thing except you switch like the x and y axis. And I'm just like, bitch, why the fuck are you making me doing this? This is stupid. Like no one's gonna do this. Like honestly, I get like the initial process, like the first graph, but then the second graph, which is basically the exact same fucking thing, except you flip the x and y axis. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. And then we do the stacked bar graph, which is like literally the same graph. They just like literally make you do the same graph 3 times. And you're just like, bitch, what the fuck is this? Like, what? I hate repetitive stuff. I hate doing shit over and over again. I hate it so much. And like literally that's all this math is. And it's easy because it's repetitive and it's boring as fuck and I don't want to do it. And like so that's why I barely done any of my homework. And I know my grade is gonna take a hit, even though I'm pretty sure I'll get like at least a B on my test. And then environmental science, I like have just completely like not studied at all for any of it. And it's on water energy or something like that. And I didn't do anything, so that's gonna be fun to do because like I'm like 95% sure I'm gonna fail the test, so that's fucking awesome. Like great. Why do I sound like that tiger that was in like a lot of cereal commercials for Frosted Flakes? He's like their mascot or something. Like Frosted Flakes is great. I don't know. And now I have goldfish. Smack that smile, that goldfish stuck in my head now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with my brain? What the fuck, dude? Like, it just needs to stop. Like, honestly, like, hello, we're done here. Like, I'm dying. Um. Okay, that's it. Good morning again.